red text. The Zenith is getting a buff, and Oberon's rework is coming in update 20.3. They are actually changing the Zenith. Instead of it doing 20 primary fire mode damage, it's going to be 30. The status chance on the primary fire mode is going to be 30 instead of 10. The secondary is not going to have 22% crit chance, it's going to have 35. And it's not going to do 120 damage, it's going to do 150. Which means now, once the update has gone live, if I go back and have a look at it, it's, wow, 30% status, 30 damage. Okay, they have in fact buffed it. That was unexpected. I liked it as it was, but this is kind of, it's good, but it's meaningless at the same time because it's the 500-day login weapon, so let's move on. Now that this update is 9 minutes old, there is apparently a new weapon. I'm just going to call this thing the CYCRON. I've no idea how to pronounce that because it's got the 2 C's at the beginning. Anyway, this is the new weapon, and this has me intrigued. Forgo ammunition with the regenerating energy disc. Infinite ammo, anyone? Ooh. It's a plasma throwing disc. Oh, it's got a magazine of 20 though. So it obviously needs ammo. But it's totally elemental with 60 heat damage. But actually looks kind of weird. I was expecting this to be in the Corpus Lab for the blueprint, however, considering it's 200 platinum. It's actually in the Energy Lab. I think that is the Corpus Lab. If I am right, I think it is the Corpus Lab. It should be, and there it is. Allows energy focused. So it is, the Energy Lab is the Corpus Lab. Where is it in here? Actually, it's already completed. Somebody's been in and finished the research on it. That I didn't expect, but that just means it doesn't cost an insane amount. Sadly though, it still has a 3-day timer on it, so even once it's collected all the resources, it still takes 3 days before you can get the blueprint. Unlike this thing that just seems to keep going backwards. This keeps jumping between 64,000 samples left and 66. How it keeps going backwards, I have no idea, but everybody's kind of given up on it now, and that will forever just never be researched because, well, I've given up farming mutagen samples for it. Which, for the record, is not something a clan owner should ever say. They should push to get these things done, but after this long of the Hema being out, I think everybody's just sick of farming the samples. We'll go for another push some other time. Maybe in another 4 months. But at least the new weapon doesn't have an alternate fire mode to it. Otherwise, I would hope it would pop up in here. Then there's the LUCRA SYANDANA, and the first time I seen this, I thought, well, that doesn't actually look that bad. I thought it was semi-see-through because of the way the light was reflecting on it, but the more I look at this, it's the idea and the concept doesn't look that bad, but there's something about it that has me wondering. Throwing it on Loki's back because he's got a bit of a flatter back. There's still something about it. I like the way the writing's scrolling down it. I know somebody's going to determine what it says. It's got a nice length to it, but it even attaches really nicely from the back. And then you look at it from the side and there's just something about this. It just seems kind of clunky and out of place, and it looks like it's clipping through anything that you wear on your back. Weapon-wise, is just going to clip through it because it's pretty huge, and it's going to look completely silly if I put this onto the back of Frost, because he already has something that's on the back, and that's what I mean by it seems to be clipping through things that are on the back. I kind of wish it was a little bit closer to the frame, then it would look much nicer, but because it sticks off so far, it's going to suit some frames more than it is others. Oberon's rework also seems to have arrived. The passive seems to have changed, so ally pets receive health, shields and armor buffs, and they will now have the ability to revive, or automatically revive, instantly revive, however you want to put it, once per mission. That's going to be useful. Kinda wish that also worked for Sentinels. But then again, Sentinels have mods that do that anyway. For Smite, it looks like damage from projectiles emitted from enemies, so after you've shot it at an enemy, will then the damage scales from the enemy that you fired it at, and this will of course be affected by mods. This could be really good, because it means the more enemies it hits, the more damage it does, but I'm pretty sure it used to do that anyway. Hallowed Grounds is now a different shape, but it still seems to be affected by, well, it is still affected by range mods that make it wider and longer. It's now going to be an arc shape instead of the square it was. They've added a status chance that is affected by power strength mods, and they've adjusted the damage and ranges of it. What I want to know is, running over it, will it still take elemental effects on you off? Because it doesn't say they've taken things off. This is just changes to it. But it's not worded in here anymore like that. Renewal does sound like it's going to work a lot better. They've increased the casting animation speed. They've changed the extended wave of healing. Or changed it to an expanding wave of healing instead of a projectile. The energy drain starts once it hits allies instead of leading up to it. But if you cast this while standing on Hallowed Grounds, it says it activates Iron Renewal, granting an armor boost for the entire heal. Ooh, that's gonna be useful. But the armor boost will be on a timer. And the weird one for this is it says Renewal doesn't stop healing the target ally if they're at full health. It continues to heal as long as it is active. Over health? Possibly? Then for Reckoning, enemies with a radiation status chance will now take bonus damage from Reckoning, and enemies standing on Hallowed Ground when Reckoning is also active will receive an armor debuff, which is affected by power strength. But of course, in the next few days, I will do a proper video aiming more at this, just to see how they actually work in-game. Because, well... oh, come. One change I do like is Bursas now, when they get hacked, will drop items immediately, rather than run off, and the items can drop anywhere, which means that things like Life Strike and Astral Twilight, and even... I cannot remember which one this is, Tempo Royale, will now drop when you hack them and they turn to your side rather than later when they die. It means hacking them is actually worth doing now. Beforehand, it was better to just let them die because it was a shorter time before they would die, instead of you down them, hack them, they fight for you for a bit, then they die. You just let them die because the items would drop quicker. Now, it's worth actually hacking these things because these are going to drop much quicker. There was actually an issue penetrating the shields of these guys in Archwing missions. Now they've made it so these only spawn in level 20 plus missions, so with low level Archwing gear you don't have to come across them and try and get through the shield, because sometimes that shield can be a bit of a pain. There are other changes to Archwing, like the weapons that now deploy the correct recharge rate time as reload in the arsenal rather than just not show anything at all, and even down to things like weapons that use batteries as clips will now be affected by reload mods, as well as various sound tweaks to enemies. And again, description is in the link below for a full list of the fixes. But one of the other things that doesn't really make much sense to me comes with Kuva missions, Kuva Siphon missions. You now have to fully complete the mission to earn the Kuva from it. I must have missed something, because last time I checked you have to fully complete a mission to leave the mission to get the Kuva from it. Maybe there was a glitch somewhere where the Kuva Siphon could be glitched and you could get the Kuva without doing the Kuva part of it? I've no idea. I do know that there was the Exterminate glitch, which was fixed, where if it popped up on an Exterminate mission, you could do that and then leave. without finishing the exterminate mission, but that only existed for a few hours as far as I'm aware. But now you have to fully complete the mission to earn the Kuva from it. Whatever that means. But anyway, we'll leave this off here for now. It may have taken me a while to actually record this. It's 45 minutes? I think it was at 9 minutes earlier. Anyway, leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch yous next time.